I want you to think about your high school reunion, or maybe just that scroll through LinkedIn. You know Sarah. Sarah was the valedictorian, perfect attendance, straight A student. Everything was neat, organized, and focused on the future. She did everything right. Then there's Chloe. Chloe barely scraped by in geometry. She dated the drummer from the slightly too old band. She skipped class. She got into petty drama, and she definitely knew how to throw a party. She was, objectively, the bad girl, the one who lived a little too messy. Now, flash forward 15 years. Sarah, she's a little tense. She has a high-stress job she low-key hates. Her relationships are short-lived disasters because she demands perfection, and she measures her worth by her output. She's chronically exhausted. And Chloe? Chloe might not be a billionaire, but she's happy. She's running a successful small business. She's charismatic. She has a rock-solid group of friends, and she seems genuinely comfortable in her own skin. If you're watching this, chances are you were a Sarah. You were taught that following the rules guarantees success, and yet, you look around and see the Chloes of the world effortlessly landing opportunities, securing fulfilling partnerships, and generally winning at life. Why? The truth is painful. You might have a high GPA, but your emotional intelligence is stuck in the basement. And in the 21st century, the basement is where people struggle to connect. The reason the wild ones often succeed, where the perfect ones fail, boils down to one simple, brutal fact. They practiced the messy skills you avoided. Let's break this down. When you dedicated your youth to academic compliance, you were actually accumulating a massive social and emotional debt. You postponed the practice of conflict resolution. You postponed dealing with rejection. You postponed negotiating boundaries. You postponed failure that wasn't graded by a professor. You thought emotional messiness was a distraction from your goals. But emotional messiness is just life. When a perfect student faces a breakup, a demanding boss, or a conflict with a friend, they freeze. Why? Because their entire operating system is built on compliance and avoidance. They are experts in finding the single correct answer on a standardized test. They are terrible at navigating situations where there are 50 gray answers. And the only way to succeed is to feel your way through them. Think about the classic model student reaction to criticism: defensiveness. They immediately pull out their receipts and evidence, trying to logically prove the criticism invalid, because their identity is based entirely on being right. They were never taught that sometimes you just need to say, "Wow, that hurt. Tell me more." They became high-functioning robots in a world that desperately needs humans. The Chloe of the world? She was failing every day from age 16. She got dumped. She was gossiped about. She had to navigate awkward friend groups. She had to apologize for being late. She had to charm her way out of trouble. She was forced to develop an incredible skill set that is infinitely more valuable in real life than calculus. Emotional resilience through high-volume practice. By constantly interacting with others, dating, and experiencing small conflicts, you are effectively conducting social experiments all the time. You learn, first, the art of the bounce back. Rejection stops feeling like a fatal flaw and starts feeling like Tuesday. You learn that your worth is not tied to every outcome. This is essential for entrepreneurship and dating in the app era. 2. Reading the room and the soul. She learned nuance. She learned that what someone says is rarely what they mean. She became an expert in tone, body language, and unspoken needs. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't get invited to the next party. 3. Conflict as connection. The model student sees conflict as a catastrophic failure of logic. The social butterfly sees conflict as a bumpy road to understanding. They know how to apologize without self-immolating, and they know how to stand up for themselves without writing a formal complaint memo. Their practice wasn't theoretical, it was visceral, and that visceral practice created empathy. This is where relationships, romantic, professional, and familial, die for the high achiever. The high achiever, the former model student, often communicates via monologue. They talk at people. They present data. They give solutions. They correct grammar. When their partner expresses a feeling, their instinct is to dismiss it with a logical counter-argument. I feel like you never listened to me. That's statistically inaccurate. I was just listening to you for 47 minutes about your coworker, and I offered you 3 actionable solutions. Why are you being irrational? They see feelings as problems to be solved, not experiences to be shared. They treat human relationships like an equation. The former social butterfly, the successful wild one, communicates via dialogue. They talk with people. Their focus isn't proving they are right. It's proving they understand the other person's reality. They prioritize connection over correction. They use phrases like, "That sounds incredibly stressful. I hear you. I'm sorry you're feeling that way." They know that 80% of communication is making the other person feel seen, not giving them homework. And here's the kicker. The ability to dialogue is the ultimate currency of influence. We need to stop pretending this is just about dating. This is about everything. In the corporate world, who gets promoted? It's rarely the genius who sits in the corner typing code that no one understands. It's the person who can translate that genius, the one who can make the clients feel heard, who can negotiate the messy office politics, and who can motivate a team, not by barking orders, but by connecting with their human anxieties. Your boss doesn't promote the person with the highest quarterly metrics. They promote the person they genuinely enjoy having a coffee with. You can have the most brilliant idea in the room, but if you deliver it with the social grace of a wet towel, it will be ignored. Meanwhile, Chloe, with 70% of your raw skill, walks in, makes eye contact, asks about the CEO's kids, and sells the idea because she sold herself first. Social intelligence is the lubricant of capitalism. Furthermore, the model student often struggles as a leader because they are unable to delegate or accept imperfection. They are terrified of things being messy, so they try to control everything, leading to massive burnout and micromanagement. The wild one, having managed drunk friends, chaotic party planning, and spontaneous travel nightmares, is actually comfortable with controlled chaos. They trust people because they know how to deal with the fallout when trust is broken. They practice radical adaptability. If you are a recovering model student and you recognize this trap, this crippling fear of social failure, the good news is that social intelligence is a skill. It's not innate talent, it's just practice. The bad news? The practice is messy, uncomfortable, and will feel incredibly awkward at first. You have to deliberately step into low-stakes social risk. Here is your homework, and I promise you there's no grade. First, embrace the cringe. Try a hobby you might fail at publicly. Join a terrible improv class. Go to a networking event where you know absolutely no one. You need to desensitize yourself to the feeling of being slightly off balance. Second, stop trying to fix everything. In your next conversation, when someone presents a problem, physically restrain yourself from offering a solution for 3 full minutes. Your job is only to reflect their feelings back. That sounds overwhelming. That's frustrating. This is terrifying for a high achiever, but it is the fastest way to build connection. Third, Practice radical boundary setting. The model student often says yes to everything because saying no feels confrontational. They trade their time for external approval. The successful wild one learned early on that their time is precious, and they will lose respect if they don't protect it. Start small, decline an optional meeting, say no to an obligation without giving a 7-paragraph explanation. The reason the wild women succeed is not because they ignored the rules. It's because they understood that the rules of the classroom are fundamentally different from the rules of life. The classroom values quiet compliance. Life values loud connection. You can still be disciplined, but your discipline needs to be redirected. Stop focusing on optimizing the perfect schedule and start focusing on optimizing human connection. The greatest irony is this: the people who seem to be ruining their lives early on were actually investing in the most powerful future skill available. It's time you started making that investment too. Stop studying for the test and start living the life you want to pass.